Namaskara. I am Anagha Prasad, a professional storyteller. Been telling stories to the young and the younger at heart for the last 6 years. Been loving this journey of sharing and learning through stories. It's an amazing feeling altogether. And as part of that, my journey, I'm here today with Dasara Live E-Kala Mandira to present to you a story about a devi. Than saying about a devi, I would like to say it is more about the place where she is from. What is it about the place and where she resides? You must be wondering, whom am I talking about? Isn't it? I'm talking about Vijayawada Kanakadurgamma. Yes. Let's listen to her story and the story of the place. Like we all know, she resides in Vijayawada, but not in the town, right? She is on top of a mountain called the Indra. How did the mountain get that name? What else is there about the mountain? Why is she there? Is she alone there? There are a lot of these questions which can be answered through stories. And these legends have been passed on from generations to generations. Various versions of them are heard and told. And let's listen to one version of it, which I read somewhere. There was a yaksha named Kila. He started praying to Devi, the ultimate Shakti, and wanted her blessings. His deep penance, staunch penance, touched the heart of the Devi, and she came down in front of him and asked, "What do you want? Why this staunch penance?" Yaksha just looked at him. "Kila, I want you to reside in my heart. I want you to look after the people around from the asuras." She looked at him and said, "Yes, of course. I'm here and I shall make sure the asuras will never trouble anyone. But as for residing in your heart, definitely I will satisfy that boon of yours or that wish of yours. But for that, you might have to wait." "How long? I can wait any longer as far as you're there with me," said Kila. "Well, you will have to wait as a mountain till the end of Krita Yuga. Will you do that? Is that possible?" "Of course, I shall wait and wait for you. Don't you worry." Saying that, Kila the Yaksha turned into a mountain on the banks of the river Krishna. And because he was there, Krishna Nadi was obstructed. He could not flow. And he was wondering how and when and where can I circumvent the hill. But there was no possibility. And you know who had to come down to make Krishna Nadi pass through the hill? Lord Shiva himself. Lord Shiva came and requested Kila to make some way for Krishna Nadi. And Krishna Nadi was to pass through a small hole that Kila had made so that Krishna Nadi can pass through. Krishna Nadi was in a hurry of going and meeting the ocean. Could he pass through like a small stream? No, he was this big river gushing through. And as he gushed through, he made a big hole and eroded the hill. And a part of a hill just went off in the Nadi. But it didn't go till the ocean. It remained a little far away. And you can find that even now apparently. And it's called Telukonda because it floats. And our Kila, the mountain, waited and waited and waited. At the end of Krita Yuga, Devi assumed the Durga form and killed Mahishasura with her trident. And as she finished that, she remembered the promise that she had made to Kila and she came directly to him. And she looked at him and said, "I'm here. Now I'm going to stay on top of you." Radiant as 1,000 suns, beautiful golden hue, she stood there. And the whole mountain looked like as if it was made of gold because of the radiation that she had. Seeing this, all the gods and goddesses came down to pay their respect to Kanakadurga. And that's what they called her, because she looked like gold. And they kept chanting and praising her as Kanakadurga, Kanakadurga, and she was named Kanakadurga. And because all the lords came down, including Indra, the mountain was named and they started calling it Indrakeladri. And the mountain also had another name, Kanakachala, because it had the golden hue because of her resplendent radiance. And there she stands, a 4-foot statue with all the 8 weapons in her arms and Mahishasura at her foot. Navarathri is celebrated in great pomp and show, she being decorated as different avatars of devis. But she's not alone there. She has her husband. Who? Shiva, yes. But how did Shiva come? Why did he stay there? Well, when she came down after killing Mahishasura and was there, Lord Brahma thought it was only right that Shiva also comes to this hill, right beside her. So he started and performed the Satya Ashwamedha Yaga. And at the end of it came Shiva himself. And Brahma worshipped him first time with the jasmine flowers. And that's why he's called Mallikeshwara. And you can find the temple of Mallikeshwara right next to Kanakadurgamma. And there is also one more legend about that hill. After Krita Yuga, in Dwapara Yuga, they say that Pandavas were closer to that hill. But why? Arjuna, the great archer, wanted the Pashpadastra. So he came to the Indrakeladri mountain and sat there and started meditating on Lord Shiva. Will gods give away whatever the devotees wish just like that? Of course not, isn't it? They are always tested. So Lord Shiva also wanted to test Arjuna. One day, as Arjuna was meditating, a wild boar came near him, and behind him came a hunter who shot an arrow. And at the same time, Arjuna also had shot an arrow because the boar was coming right next to him. And both the arrows came and pierced into the boar right at the same time. Arjuna claimed the boar was his, the hunter claimed the boar was his. And when two people claim for the same thing, what happens? There's a huge fight. And they started fighting and fighting and fighting. It went from wrestling to mace to bow and arrow. And at the end, you know what happened? All through this fight, Arjuna never lost his one-pointed focus of praying to Lord Shiva. Even during that, he kept praying to Shiva. And in between, he went and took some jasmine flowers and put it on the linga which he had made for his penance. And as he put the flowers on the linga, he saw that the flowers were falling on the hunter. And that's when he realized that the hunter was none other than Shiva, and he prostrated in front of him. And he got the Pashpadastra. So that's one more legend about the Indrakeladri mountain where our Kanakadurgamma stays. So let's all hope that sometime in our lifetime we all visit Vijayawada Kanakadurgamma to get her blessings, to see how resplendent she is with her 8 arms, 8 weapons, and Mahishasura at the end at her foot, and how beautiful she is, blessing all of us. So that is the story of Kanakadurgamma on the Indrakeladri mountain. And I namaskar.